to my channel, A Rose Between Pages. Rosie here, and welcome to my March wrap-up / my TBR update. I'm also going to be showing you 4 books that I'm actually giving my friend to read for April. So let's dive in. Alright, so I read 4 books. And I read over 2,000 pages in March. 3 of them were physical. 1 of them was an audiobook. And 1 of them I DNF'd. So. And 1 of them I wish I actually DNF'd earlier. So, we're going to be going from worst to best. The worst one was the audiobook that I read. The audiobook that I listened to was called This Present Past by Tracy Harding. And I ended up being really confused with this one because I liked the beginning. The beginning actually sounded like my type of fantasy. We had a king, we had a witch, we had a healer, and we had a dragon. And we also had a goddess as well. So it did give me Merlin vibes at the beginning, but wasn't too gripping as I ended up zoning out in the middle of it and being really, really bored. I was playing cards with Josh's nieces while I was listening to the rest of that audiobook, but it just wasn't gripping me. And I did love how Gwyon's character had developed, but then it was just really confusing because the dragon went into this other realm and disappeared for ages, didn't come back until like near the end of the book. And I was just so bored. Like, the dragon came back and I was sat there thinking, how the fuck did you get the dragon back under your control, and how the fuck did you get it back into your realm? Like, it didn't even explain that or anything. It seemed quite boring, and the author isn't very good with writing, in my opinion. Sorry to anybody who actually enjoyed this. It was all over the place, and most of the time I had no clue what was going on. I enjoyed the first part until the dragon disappeared, and then I got so lost. So that was like a 1.5. I DNF'd this, by the way. I had 3 hours left, and it just wasn't interesting me at all at the end, so I ended up DNFing. Then I read The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind by Jackson Ford. I was enjoying the beginning. The beginning was fine. And I liked the concept that there was this telekinetic girl. She was supposed to be about my age, and it was so fucking annoying. Like, the more that I read, the more petty the characters became and the more childish they became. And it seemed like they were like bratty teenagers, which was so fucking annoying. I enjoyed the relationships and the banter between the characters at the beginning, and I liked the plot and I liked the action, but sometimes the characters were a little bit petty at the beginning. But the more I read of this, the more petty the characters became and the more childish they became. The end twist was bullshit. I was so unimpressed. I was really not impressed at all with the ending, because it just felt like it was just an excuse to continue this series on. And I just wanted this to be over and done with, and I had to push myself through this. I was reading this on sprints during this month, and I literally had to push myself to finish this. It was so fucking boring. Like, this was a 2-star. And this is going towards my free little library. Like, I was talking to my best friend Jamie about this yesterday, and she didn't even seem interested in it either. Because the main character is supposed to be about my age, and she was acting like a bratty child who, whenever she didn't get her way, she would have a go at everybody else for it. And if something was her fault, she wouldn't process it. So it was just really, really, really annoying. But I want to talk about my most recent read, which is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I fucking love this. This was a 4-star. It was beautifully written and very atmospheric. I really enjoyed this.
Honestly, the way that this was written, it felt like you was in that scene and with the characters all the way.
I enjoyed learning about the house, the history of the house, the history of Rebecca, how Rebecca lived, and loved getting to know the characters better too. Our main character in this is very, very mysterious. Like, you don't know how old she is, you don't know what her name is, you just know that her name is very unusual.
You know that her name is very lovely.
And she's older than 18. So, like, at the time, I was like halfway through this when I actually wrote this. I didn't know how to feel about trying to guess how old she was and what her name could be. But then I got to 3/4 and I was like, I really enjoyed this. However, some of this was really, like, it was a little bit boring and a little bit slow, some of this. But I loved how dark and gothic this was, and the twists were fucking amazing. I was in shock. I didn't actually expect the twists, and the ending felt like a cliffhanger, which annoyed me a little bit, but I quite enjoyed this. And yeah, I would recommend it to people who are horror fans that love paranormal and love history, like love learning about the history of things, or you're a beginner to classics, like me. But this was from the library, so I have to give this back, unfortunately, but I recommend this. Game of Thrones. Let's talk about it. This was a 4.75 stars. This was so good. It was jam-packed full of action and lovable characters. The way that this is written makes you feel like you're on all of the journeys with the characters, and I love it. I actually buddy read this with Ellie, but Ellie unfortunately went into a slump because personal things were happening in her life. And unfortunately, she fell behind, and I've already finished this. I was hating some of the characters and loving others. Some were witty and some made really stupid decisions, and some were just plain stupid. I was finding it really hard to put this down and actually do the things that I needed to do. The ending was both terrifying and beautiful. Some parts were a little boring and dragged for me, so that's why it was a 4.75 star. Because some of it was like too descriptive and talking about business plans and stuff like that, and raids and stuff. So that is what I read in March. Now let's go on to what my best friend Jamie is borrowing from me. So I was talking to my best friend Jamie last night, and I was going through a lot of my books last night to show her which ones I have, because she's wanting to get back into reading, because we haven't spoken for a while. Personal issues, I'm not going to go into detail, and we used to read a lot together, So she wants to get back into reading again. So I said to her, well, do you want to go through my books with me and we could choose the ones that you can borrow? And she was pretty much saying yes to all of my books at the last night while I was going through them. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we just go through my TBR cup and see what it says? So that's what we did. And she has a Bumblebee stack, which is pretty cool. So we have Notes on an Execution by Dania Kukafka. I really hope she enjoys this. And I've told her that she needs to tell me, like, what it's about and basically how she feels about it and her rating. So she's gonna do that. I've not read this one. I recently obtained this one actually, and I bought it because I bought this for my friend Ellie, my book bestie Ellie. So that is Notes on an Execution. I'm hoping to buddy read that at some point with Ellie. I don't know when though, because I have quite the ambitious TBR, which you will see in this video. Then we have Game of Thrones. Obviously, I've already read this and literally said to her, oh, I've recently read this not long ago. So she can spoil the living daylights out of it to me and she can vent to me about this one because I've already read this. So I really hope she enjoys that. I'm not entirely sure what Notes on an Execution is. I think it's like a horror thriller or something, or like a mystery thriller. I think it's a mystery thriller. So we have a mystery thriller and high fantasy. Then The End of the World Running Club by Adrian J. Walker. This came up. This is an apocalyptic thriller and it says to survive you need to run. So this is a survival apocalyptic thriller. All different so far. And then you have No Further Questions by Gillian McAllister. I've heard that Gillian is getting quite big now, so I really hope she enjoys this and she's gonna let me know how that goes. Okay, so we've spoken about what my best friend is borrowing from me and we've also spoke about what I read in March, but we haven't spoken about my TBR update yet. I've been to the library multiple times lately and it's got out of hand. I have 16 books on my TBR pile right now. We're gonna go through them. 2 of them I cannot actually show. I can show not the spine, but the other part, like the pages. I can show them, but I can't show what they look like until I do vlogs for them. So, first off, we have Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. I walked past this multiple times in Waterstones, and if it wasn't for Chloe, I would have kept walking past. But it's a beautiful cover, I was interested, and Chloe said that it's really good, so... And I like anything witchy, so I'm looking forward to this. I want to get to this month. Then there's November 9 by Colleen Hoover.
For anybody wondering why I looked like that at November 9, it's because I do not associate myself with that author anymore, and I do not support that author anymore, so apologies.
Satan is Alive and Well on Planet Earth. And 2 Warhammer books, which is Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Malice Deadly. So, this is the pile that I want to actually get to. I pulled out 4 books this month because I span blue 3 times. Okay, so that's my immediate TBR.
No clue what was going through my head here. I meant to say TBR of possibilities.
And these 2 I can't actually show you, but this one is for a sea-themed vlog, and this one is for a judge a book by its cover vlog. So just gonna quickly put them away. Then we have Clash of Kings. I liked the first one so much I wanted the second one, so I borrowed it from the library. We have a small horror called Fluke by James Herbert. This is one of my dad's favourite authors, so I'm trying to get more into James Herbert, and at the back it says he is more than he appears to be. Then I spotted this one in Armley Library, and it's called Rabbits by Terry Miles, and it says play the game, play the price. Are you playing? And it just sounds like right up my street. I love the trope of you're playing a game and you've got to be the last one standing or something. I love that sort of thing. And then I got a thriller called We Were Never Here by Andrew Blatz. And says she had no option but to kill him. Does she really know her closest friend? So I'm really interested about that one. And then we're going back into Familiar Realm, Lord of the Flies, Marlena, and Our Wives Under the Sea. These three are buddy reads, and I still haven't read them. I do need to read them. And then we have The Dry and Warm Bodies. I still haven't read them. That is my hectic TBR.
I forgot to mention my current reads. So I'm physically reading A Day of Fallen Night. Audiobook, I am listening to The Tales of Beedle the Bard, and then my ebook is still Perfect Child.
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment below a dragon emoji if you're in Team Enya, a bat emoji if you're in Team Sanctum, a llama emoji if you're in Team Ilma, and an alien for Cyrus, because I'm pretty sure Cyrus is sci-fi. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Stay luscious. Bye.